Hi, YouTube family. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. I go by the nickname Ginger. It's not cute, not knowing. And it's time to know, but we start off with a hug. Come on. How you guys doing? Down in the Gulf Coast in the Texas area, it appears to be more wind damage. There's a lot of damage down there. Don't want to underestimate it versus the water damage, but we still want to keep them in our prayers down there, Louisiana, Texas, the Gulf Coast. Daisy is here. We're talking about Daisy Bloom. It's a little girl for pop sensation Katy Perry, her mate, Orlando Bloom, the actor. Didn't it seem like Katy Perry was pregnant forever? I think when you announce it right away, like when the sperm meets the egg, because she just seemed like she was pregnant forever, and we've followed her adventures, and it was certainly really cute. That baby is finally here. Katy Perry will be back as one of the judges on American Idol when it returns. But congratulations to Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom on that little girl. Daisy is here. Martin Lawrence is returning to TV. How many Martin fans out there in the 90s? You know, you could still watch that show. You could still watch it, and it's still very funny. Martin Lawrence is coming to CBS. This time he's teaming up with rapper Snoop Dogg for a political drama, which is set in Washington, D.C. Snoop, Martin Lawrence, they play lifelong friends who are caught up in this drama, but it's set to be on CBS. Garcelle Beauvais, who's coming to The Real, 7th season kicks off September 21st. She's wrapping up her stint on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, one of the ladies is on there claiming that she owes them money for a charity event that she promised them $5,000 and never gave it to them. It's all going to be included in the reunion show, which airs on Bravo September the 2nd. Now, speaking of September 21st, The Real comes back for a new season. It's also going to be a new season of the Wendy Williams show. She is coming back to her daytime talker. Is she going to be in the studio because she hated being at home? She took off a very long time, and it's time for Wendy to get back in the fray. But I hear she's coming back to a studio. Don't know, with COVID, will there be an audience? But Wendy Williams' new season kicks off September 21st. Usher and The Weeknd. Earlier this year, The Weeknd made a very shocking claim that Usher stole his song. The song was Climax from 2012. The Weeknd, weren't you just born? It was a strange accusation, and they said that The Weeknd apologized to Usher. Well, now they're saying that Usher and The Weeknd got into a fight, and Usher had to lay them hands. Now, Usher can fight. He filmed a movie. We haven't seen it, but he filmed the life story of Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't know why we haven't seen it. But he not only learned how to box, he kept boxing after filming. The Weeknd was recently spotted with a busted nose, a bruised lip, and 2 black eyes. Usher. The Weeknd is on top right now with his latest album, and a lot of people, they do the comparisons, but Usher, did you do that? Tyra Banks, Dancing with the Stars, she is the executive producer and the host. So what did she do during quarantine? Apparently she put on some pounds. She gained about 50, and they're wondering, will she lose the weight or some of it by the time Dancing with the Stars comes around? New season kicks off September 14th. Now, what's interesting, because they have a whole new set, everybody's in a bubble. They're making us wait until September 14th to find out the stars who are dancing. And I told you guys, As soon as I find out stuff, I'm gonna let you know. AJ McLean, one of the Backstreet Boys, he's dancing. Now I'm hearing that Carol Baskin, the Tiger King lady, Tiger King was the big thing during the early part of the pandemic on Netflix. I'm hearing that she's one of the dancers. Now I think they're making us wait until the 14th because they don't really have no big stars. It's called Dancing with the Stars, but I think they have a lot of like reality people, but I don't really think nobody to make you say, oh, I want to see them dance. Like a Gladys Knight. When Patti LaBelle was on, it was pretty exciting. But they've had people on there. The athletes, they've had people on there, with Dancing with the Stars. But I think they're making us wait till September 14th because they don't really have no big stars, but we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Nene Leakes has gone silent on social media. And could it be because she's not coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? This is a big possibility. She made a huge demand from the Bravo network, but they're kind of sick of the antics and the fighting and spitting and just various craziness. But I heard that she was a co-creator of the show. Will she be back? Is it a publicity stunt? Because y'all know me. I'll be thinking in the back of my head, it could be a publicity stunt. We're going to see. But Nene has gone silent on social media. R. Kelly recently attacked at a jail cell in Chicago. What happened? R. Kelly has his protesters. And they go to the prison and they go around it with Free R. Kelly, Free R. Kelly. Well, every time they do that, they put the prison on lockdown, which upsets the other inmates. One day, R. Kelly had his cell open, and an inmate rushed in and beat him up, saying he's tired of the lockdown. And they said he just went nuts and proceeded to beat up R. Kelly. R. Kelly's lawyers say that he is doing fine. He is a model prisoner. They want everyone to know that he is a model prisoner and he is doing fine. But his protesters are out there doing their thing. There will be NBA playoff action this weekend. The players, in an unprecedented move, along with Major League Baseball players, tennis sensation Naomi Osaka, they decided, you know what? We're not going to play today. There was a lot of criticism. Oh, those rich millionaires just wanted a day off. No. It wasn't about rich millionaires wanting a day off or night off or that they didn't feel like working. When you have to constantly explain why Black Lives Matter over and over, and then every few weeks we see more and more images. Kenosha, Wisconsin over the weekend. Was it necessary for that young man, Jacob Blake, to be shot 7 times in his back? Isn't there a way that you can subdue somebody or get somebody's attention 7 times in the back and maim them for life? Every few weeks we see something. And the reason why people say Black Lives Matter, it's not because no other lives don't matter. But a Black life should not just be seen as something that can be thrown away, pushed aside. Ugh. If you have children, you worry. If you're a person of color, whether it's a son or a daughter. I have a son. I worry when he goes outside. If you are a person of color, you worry. Those players, they may be athletes, these great careers, this money, endorsements and stuff. But when they see stuff like this, they say, oh, that could be me, a family member, my child. A life shouldn't just matter because you're at a certain level in life. Human decency and respect for another life. Even though you gotta do your job. Ain't nobody saying the officers ain't gotta do their job, but you don't have to be reckless and do your jobs. Breonna Taylor, no knocking, you just burst in and start shooting. George Floyd, somebody has to kneel in his neck and he dies, and we witness it because everything is filmed. Of course, every life on earth matters, but a black life should never be discarded and shrugged off and like, oh, it could just keep happening and no one's going to say anything, or we'll just turn the other way, or we'll just talk about this or just do that. It matters. And you know what? People are tired. People are tired. That's why the players did not play yesterday. And there'll be NBA playoff this weekend, and things will go on. But you could bet your bottom dollar you'll see an image again, and you'll say, why? Why does it keep happening? Why? Y'all know I be debating. Should I start off serious? Should I start with the fluff and then go serious, or be serious? But then it takes me a long time to get myself back together when I gotta talk about other things. But when you have to keep explaining things. I do a podcast, Patty and the Millennials. This week we talk about why we vote. It was a great conversation. I'm a baby boomer. Millennials, Gen X, men, women. And we just talk about why we vote, because it's going to be very important for you to cast your vote. Your voice. That's your voice. That's your voice. And we see things and we want to see a difference, but you can't just sit on the sideline and complain. You got to do more than that. You have to exercise your right. 100 years ago, a woman couldn't vote. National Equality Day, celebrated a woman's right to vote. If you were a person of color, you couldn't vote. And that was only about maybe 2 or 3 grandmamas ago. Exercise your right and make sure that you make your voice heard. If you like the channel, tell a friend, subscribe, leave a comment. I do read them. I got to catch up from yesterday, but I do read them, and you know that I do, because I will give you a heart. I love to say, it's not cute not knowing. I'm Patty Jackson. Thanks for joining me. I'm your auntie of pop culture.